Video coverage of IT Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.
Hi, Eric Linask here at IT Expo in Miami. Joining me on today's program is Vimal Subba with Cisco. Vimal, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, my pleasure.
So, a lot of change taking place within the communications and networking environments. Nothing new, but as far as the networking side of things, really starting to follow suit with the rest of the market in that it's trending towards a software environment. The software-defined networking element obviously is a huge part of that. What are you seeing, and specifically, how is that changing some of the things that Cisco's had to do?
Okay, a fair point. So I think, one of the things you're seeing in trend or ask from our customers is, how do our products become more agile, right? So it's not about lower cost by itself. It's about how do we re-architect our software, our products, so at the end of the day, they get some power in terms of making changes to their environment, right? So that's the whole notion around agility and programmability and openness that comes with SDN.
Is flexibility an appropriate word to use?
Flexibility would be another word
Sure.
to use, yes. And at Cisco, we believe in providing a choice to our customers. And a choice in the context of, various kinds of, SDN deployments that, are taking shape in the market, from a point of view of either open flow, network virtualization, or an integrated hardware and a software system with the introduction of ACI that we have had. So we believe, with choice, customers can adapt that based on their unique requirements of their applications, and be able to, leverage SDN as an evolutionary way to make their infrastructure more agile and derive the benefits that comes with it.
So, based on that description, where does the market stand today? Have we started seeing real adoption, or are folks still sort of playing in the sandbox?
That's a very good point, and in fact that was the topic of my presentation. So according to one of the research from GigaOM, only 14% of the organizations have either deployed SDN or are in pilot with SDN. And what it means is there's a majority of organizations who haven't stepped in, and I think that a lot of there's a lot of myth out in the market from a technology standpoint, and that's natural because with any new technology there's going to be a cycle. Gartner describes that Gartner hype cycle, and there are realities, right? There's a lot of expectations that our customers have in the context of what SDN can or cannot do. So until those myths get busted, until there's a sort of a balance in the context of what SDN can actually provide them, how they can use them, we won't see a big adoption. And I think vendors and customers both have to come at terms in terms of making that clear, and providing guidance in the context of how do you actually move from why, what to how. That's a very important conversation that we need to have.
Not really unlike any other new emerging technology. The proof is in the pudding. So as soon as we start seeing start seeing some significant successful adoptions, that's when you're going to start seeing it go towards mainstream.
Yeah, so I think at Cisco what we recommend is we ask our customers to start small, right? Because SDN is really evolutionary as we speak, right? And if the customer starts small, they can experiment and validate their hypothesis on what really makes sense for them before actually deploying SDN in their entire production network, right? So as they start doing that, there's going to be more confidence in terms of what SDN can bring and what it cannot. And I think that's where we will see more mainstream adoption.
Do you think that by really lengthening the adoption cycle for an individual company, that will ultimately shorten the overall market adoption rate?
I don't know if I understood your question clearly. If you can repeat.
So what you're suggesting is that businesses or providers can adopt on a piecemeal basis, will that eventually shorten the amount of time it takes for the overall market to reach adoption levels?
That's right. So I think, as I said, right, there's a lot of expectations that customers have built, right? So by starting slowly, they can start validating their assumptions, and then actually can see what benefits SDN is providing, right? So rather than having some thoughts in their mind, they actually see something working in their lab, in their production environment. It gives them more confidence, and ultimately, it will help to reduce the overall adoption cycle.
What does adopting SDN mean to existing technology investments, existing infrastructure?
So, SDN is evolutionary, and by one research, 40% of the networking spend in next couple of years is going to be substitutive. What it means is the organizations are going to still buy products and services as they do, but these products and services will be architected in a way that can provide the benefits of SDN, right? And what it also means is the customers are going to change the way they have been using those infrastructure, using or consuming those infrastructure, the way they have been operating and the underlying business process surrounding that. So there's going to be a whole shift in the context of both, what vendors have to offer and how the customers are consuming it, right? So I think so that in itself, is where we see the future.
Where are we going to be in a year from today with regards to adoption?
I don't have any numbers to speak with, but I think it's becoming more solidified as we go, and we're seeing more and more pilots around that. A lot of activity happening in OpenStack and Open Daylight space. So customers are starting to see the value of it. They started to adopt some of these capabilities, or at least pilot some of these capabilities. So year from now, I would say the numbers will really go up. I don't have a number, but I think it will be much more mature than what we see right now.
Excellent. Vimal, didn't mean to put you on the spot there. Appreciate the response. Thank you so much for joining me on today's program.
Video coverage of IT Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.